And speaking of the 1/100 scale VF1s.
Oh yeah, so Toonami had released a product last year, which actually last WonderCon, which was a big hit. This is a throwback retro design, which is supposed to evoke the look of the original Japanese release of the Takatoku VF1. Unfortunately, moment of silence. Takatoku, that company, is no more. But what they've done is they've essentially created a localized version of that box, where the box has been translated into English, and they had new retro artwork commissioned for this box to kind of evoke the feel of box designs back then. In fact, Toonami went as far as even trying to source the same type of textured paper that was used back in the 80s. And at Comic-Con, they're going to be introducing another one. They're going to be introducing the VF1S Armored Valkyrie. And unlike the most recent release, in which they correctly paired up the VF1J with the red armor and the VF1S, we actually made it so it was the VF1S paired up with the VF1J armor. And this will be a Comic-Con exclusive from Toonami. And again, some more of that great retro art in there. You might recognize it. It looks familiar, but it's actually all new art. And I want to talk just a little bit about the artist who's involved in this. And this is Jamie Sullivan, the illustrator. He can't join us today, but he will be at Comic-Con in a few weeks. And I want to give you a peek of the work that he does. It's just amazing. He does have digital experience, but the foundation of his work, he actually still works on old canvas, paper, pencil, markers. He really enjoys being an analog kind of artist. And the purpose of this is that this is new artwork, but he's trying to make it look like stuff that you saw in old art books from the 80s. And his process is amazing. And they're actually going to have more artwork from him for sale promotionally from Toonami at San Diego Comic-Con. So at that panel in a few weeks, he's going to actually join us to talk about his process.
And speaking of San Diego Comic-Con, I know you folks have more questions now that we have the renewal. What about the art books? What about the SDF1 we talked about? What about that transforming SDF1 by Kids concept? And what about a whole bunch of other things? We're going to answer some, and I want to emphasize some of these questions at the Robotech The Great Transition panel on Thursday, July 18th, 2019, from 5 AB at 8 p.m. at San Diego Comic-Con. So folks, we all want to take a moment to say thank you. We appreciate your support these past 34 years. We look forward to the 35th anniversary of Robotech and a great future for the franchise. There's some great things in the pipeline. And now we want to hear what you have to say. So we want to open it up to question and answer. So folks,
everyone who asks a question, come on up and claim a free prize from the table.
Yep.
Oh, actually,
other than these things.
Not yet. not the 3D manga. So, okay. All right. Oh, wow. Lots of questions I see. Dan, first off, welcome. You're the first question. What is your question, Dan?
My question is one that will probably others wanted to ask, and it always gets asked because nobody really knows how it can be answered. But you renewed the license. That's cool. You got all those licenses back. A lot of fans of anime and giant robots want to know, is it even possible? I don't even know if you guys could do it because you only own the limited license, the old school Macross. Is it possible to release like Macross shows like Macross Frontier for the United States or Latin America? Can you guys do anything about that?
Yeah, I know that's something that everybody wants. In fact, that would be awesome. The thing is, that is something we can't answer at this time. This is something that we've worked out after a a lot of work. And in fact, we did this early because the license continues through 2021. Rather than doing this all at the last minute, we wanted to make sure we had our ducks in a row. That process actually started a few years ago as some of the information made out through the news channels. And we're glad we worked that out early. I mean, there is another step to cover after that, but just to be very, very specific and clear to everyone, what the license covers is Robotech as put together from the original classic Macross that was always part of Robotech, Southern Cross, and Mosquita. It doesn't include the other Macross spin-offs. That's a separate question that has yet to be resolved.
Yeah, we want to get you guys excellent question. Thank you. Next question, sir.
Hi guys, thank you for showing up, and I mean everybody's happy to be here, no doubt. I asked this question last time you guys were here, but I want it more so now than ever before. That flight jacket that you guys had is gorgeous, and honestly, last time the question I asked last time was if you guys would be willing or somehow, some way, able to get the emblems that you guys have for each year, like last year, I think it was last year, or they had the 3 Robotech fighters come in, and then this emblem that you guys have right now is gorgeous, and I can imagine it as an embroidered like patch. Is there any chance you guys could sell the yearly patches or the yearly emblems as patches? So
We need a
can put on-
convention tour.
Yeah,
logos.
so that we can have those potentially for even.
How many of you would like something like that? Okay, we have time now. We'll work on it.
Because whoever does the art for those yearly ones, they're gorgeous.
Thank you. Sir, what's your question?
Okay. Two questions I can ask them. One, I'm kind of expecting if you guys gonna ever release the betas for the Instagram shadow betas. So they attach to what?
That is, yeah, that's something that Konami wants to do. They found that the blue beta was a blowout, and so that is from that point on they went with producing the other color betas. And what I found was kind of interesting. When I went onto the show floor, I was able to find out what the general demand of the different colors were based on aftermarket pricing. And so, because the last one, there's still some inventory left that Konami still wants to move out. I think it's going to take a little longer before they get to the shadow beta, because they want to make sure that all the betas have moved out before they move on to the last one.
I also have a separate question. The shadow comic book, the old artwork, and it's separate from the contracts providers that you can still do that, but you still look at
Shadow Chronicles, for those of you who have seen it and watched the Sentinels from a long time ago, the way it was produced was actually very consistent with the Sentinels, which was, it was produced with incorporating designs from Southern Cross and Mosquita, and creating a spin-off from that point. And so, there's no real problem with Shadow Chronicles. I guess the question you had was, when are we going to get Shadow Rising? Shadow Rising unfortunately fell into that period where we were working with another studio and everything kind of slowed down for a while. Now that we're working with Sony Pictures, you're going to notice the pace picking up. We're going to have a lot more projects coming together at this point.
Great. Yeah, great question. Thank you. Next question. Sir.
Okay. Let me jump in with that a little bit. But this is for you me. All right. Toynami seems to have been focusing heavily on the Veritex. Have you discussed whether or not you're going to create the hover tank, or you're going to let them create the hover tank?
Ooh, that is a fun question.
You can say what you're talking about. I'm really eager for that one.
Yeah. So right now we do have prototype for the logo. Actually, we are working the transformation, so that would be a fun what to have. But chunky. We are considering heavily into doing the overtime, given the things that happen. It would be such a fun project to work on, but it might be in the future that, yeah, I know, sorry, a little nervous here, first time panelist, yeah. If we can squeeze it in, we'll work on it, because I love the overtime. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question, sir.
Hey guys, thanks for keeping Robotech alive. Congratulations on the renewal. I think that's a victory for everyone. My question is, I grew up watching Robotech when it first aired, and I love the toys that came out in the 80s. Is there any chance in planning that some of those might come out on a limited release? Like the Matchbox ones that came out?
Yeah.
Because it's all about retro now.
Yeah, so if those were to be remanufactured again, the original molds would have to be reproduced again. The reason is that the company that originally manufactured them was Playmates. And they had a warehouse out in Hong Kong where where they were stored. George's son from Toonami actually wanted to build another run of them. And so he actually went out there and found out that the company didn't know what those molds were for and actually stored them outdoors. And so so because of that, and the thing is, these molds are heavy. They're big, giant metal molds. And so what happened was they rusted. And so he actually took one of them and he did a test. He tried to clean it as much as possible. And what happened was the metal had pitted. And so basically you would end up with hairy indent, So unfortunately, yeah, those molds were not restorable. This was before the era of CAD, and so essentially those molds are pretty much lost. That's why Toonami actually proceeded with starting to produce, all new sculpts of its toys.
So if you got them, basically, hold on.
So yeah, you actually got something. I mean, everybody likes to, joke about the Matchbox figures, the style of how they were made back then, but, they now have intrinsic value.
Thank you. It hurt.
Thank you. Next question.
I'm really excited for the new stuff, but I also really enjoy the old stuff. So I want to know if you're going to put them on Blu-ray, the originals. I really want them in 1080.
So the whole digital process, this is something that we're studying very, very hard. We now have more resources, and we have a lot more time than we did before. But for the time being, if you just want to drop into it again, the cleanest picture is on Netflix. They have the remastered episodes, all 85 episodes, and Shadow Chronicles. If you want to go back in time, go to Amazon Prime. They have the original broadcast where they took out scandalous shots of some characters and some unusual level of violence. Well, Robotech had to air back in 1985 with television standards of 1985. So now you can get away with a little bit more. So that's why the remastered version happened.
We actually did get a couple complaints from parents who wanted to show their favorite cartoon to their kids, and then all of a sudden there was like a new shower scene that was added in Robotech Remastered. So that's why we had to put out the original versions again.
Yeah, and that was the original Japanese production. So one of the things they did with that re-release of the home video was it was marked TV 14 to clearly mark the age, but and also if you like the Japanese versions of the shows, also on Amazon you can stream the original Japanese version if you prefer it that way. More power to you.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so that market is a lot smaller than it was back then.
Yeah, but what kind of Gundam?
Yeah,
They're doing a huge lot of Gundam models right now. Can you do the same thing with Robotech models?
that market has to be built up. So Bandai's been working on it for a long, long time. And more power to them. They've done a really, really good job with that product line. So this is something that we haven't done in a long, long time. We would have to find the right merchandising partner who specializes in models like that. So, if you as a hobbyist know a company that you think would be a perfect fit, I mean, we are all ears. Contact us, put us in contact. We'll actually consider it. You can be part of the process.
Also, is there any chance you could bring those glass cups? I saw like one of the older DVD formats a long time ago. They had like a commercial with this kid here about promoting a glass Robotech cups. Do you actually bring those back any chance?
Oh, we have a partner with that. There is a company named Super 7. They like to do throwback stuff. I mean, they do these really, really crude Kenner-style figures with only, 2.1 points of articulation.
Yeah.
And so they are doing these glasses called drive-through drinkware. And what's kind of funny is they're trying to make it old on purpose. Like, you would get these drive-through burger drink cups that were licensed, but they were off model, they weren't quite right. So they said, how's this look? And I said, you got the colors perfect. They go, oh, well, all right, we'll take care of that. To make it look more like the cup you would get back then.
Yeah, because they came in a commercial in South America, and some kid was pouring some nice Pepsi and some Mountain or 7-Up.
Oh, yeah, that was released in South America. So most of those collector's items, usually they turn up on eBay from overseas.
I couldn't find any today.
Yeah, no, those are so hard to find. I mean, maybe about 10 years ago you could still find them, but the collectors snapped them all up.
You make share glasses?
Oh, no, we don't make them.
Look up Super 7 and follow them.
Yeah.
Folks, we have 5 minutes left, so try to keep your questions brief, okay? Please.
I know I'm a little bit of a heretic here, but I actually found Robotech through the novels because I was a big reader when I was a kid. And I'm just a little curious. That's what led me to the show and whatnot. I'm just a little curious, Disney has been re-releasing the old Star Wars novels under the Legends banner, and I'm just a little curious if maybe the Robotech novels will be re-released in a similar fashion and maybe have a continuation of the novel series at some point?
Steve, you were.
Yes, they are available right now digitally, and the paperback versions are available still for the original series. So the ones that covered the original 85 episodes. So those are still available now. And for all the later stories like Sentinels, those are available digitally. So, they're available now. Instead of kind of like putting them into their own little ghetto of continuity, we actually made some slight revisions to the original Robotech novels, changing years around just so that some of the dates would match up a little more accurately. But even then, there were some things that still wouldn't fit, no matter what we did. So, but we tried, and we tried to make sure, as little of the story was changed, just the years. And that way we could still call it just, the main Robotech continuity as much as possible, instead of, trying to separate the continuities. Because, Robotech fans have invested a lot of time into the continuity of these stories, and we don't want to, make it feel like it's less valid or anything like that now. We just want to make sure everyone just enjoys it. It's entertainment. Don't get angry about it. Just enjoy it and have fun. And if there are different continuities, just think of them as, it's just all.
It's Earth 616.
It's here to have you. It's here to make sure you're entertained.
Oh, one other thing we did add is for anyone who do notice anything has changed since the original printing of novels, they would contain appendices noting where things were changed around.
So we're trying to be as transparent as possible about all the changes we made. So, we have a list of all the changes, spellings, etc. We got 2 minutes left. Go ahead.
Okay, so Carlos, you said you're working with him with Royal Command Battleoid.
Yeah!
First thing, wanted to get that out of the way. The other two guys mentioned something. I'm going to build on that and kind of expand it a little bit because the first guy was talking about the models that was Rebel. It was called Robotech Defenders. Previously in a panel about 12 years ago, I was hearing about there were going to be other stories and that turned into Chronicles. I want to know, are you going to go back and actually make Robotech Defenders as the guys who are piloting the Battleoids while defending Earth and getting the crap beat out of them?
Hey,
It's kind of like Solo and all the other side stories.
All right, so Defenders is kind of an interesting mishmash. That was from DC Comics, and this was DC a long time ago. And they didn't realize that it was a different continuity than the Robotech television series, and that series actually tanked, while Kamiko was the one who had the other continuity that did very well.
I'm just talking about something sideways, like Love and all the other
Okay,
animes.
so just cutting to the chase, That's another ball of wax that we'll have to unwind in some way in order to pursue, because that includes other Japanese licenses, such as Dugra.
And Orgus.
Yes, and Orgus. And so without working that out, that's something that's going to be very challenging to reprint.
Well, not reprint, I'm just.
Or just do, yeah, and all, yeah. Okay. So, yeah.
Well, I'm
Hey, free prizes.
Probably not my side.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, sir.
Well, I'm a new fan to Robotech, but fresh new, 100% new. But how did I get into this? Well, like my librarian, she gave me this Macross Plus VHS, and I watched it clearly and deeply. I got interested, but where'd you guys bring back VHSs?
We get this question a lot.
We actually found several VHSs in our vaults, and we actually put some of them up for sale on our website. Go to robotech.com. It's only the first few episodes, but we have some of the tapes. And if anyone has a beta tape player, we have those too. The original Macross adaptation in English. Yeah. So I think it's just the first episode.
You and Al Bundy.
Since the license has been renewed, any plans to partner with Udon Press to release Southern Cross and New Generation art books? The Macross Saga one.
But that's actually something we're working on. That's actually taken longer. The materials are not quite as neatly organized as Macross, because that's a bigger, more well-known. Udon has been going all over the place trying to track down original material to do research. We've actually found the original production packet for them, which took quite a bit of researching to find for them. So that's something that they're doing next. And you'll find out a little bit more at San Diego Comic-Con.
Okay, great, thank you.
Folks, we gotta wrap it up.
Good. All right. Well, I'm sorry, we got the stop signal. So,
Here, folks, just so you know, we know you have some questions. We will answer them outside. We want to thank you all for coming, and we appreciate your support. I know you also have questions, so answer them outside. Okay, we're going to answer your question outside. Okay, so
thank you all for coming.